all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and happy Monday to you. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 7th of December. Here's everything that you need to know at the start of the new week. First up, India's coronavirus infections rose by over 36,000 in the 24 hours to 8 a.m. yesterday, even as a number of vaccines are well on their way to being rolled out. India's total tally of infections now stands at 96.4 lakh, of which active cases stand at just over 4 lakh. Speaking of vaccines, Pfizer India has become the first pharmaceutical firm to seek an emergency use authorization from the Drug Controller General of India for its COVID-19 vaccine in the country. That's after its parent company secured a similar clearance in the UK and in Bahrain. Pfizer, in its application submitted to the drug regulator, has sought permission to import the vaccine for sale and distribution in the country, besides a waiver of clinical trials on the Indian population in accordance with the special provisions under the New Drugs and Clinical Trials Rules of 2019. A major hurdle in the rollout of this particular vaccine, though, even if it gets the requisite approvals, is the need to store it at an extremely low temperature, something India's current infrastructure doesn't allow. In the other big ongoing story, the government has proposed to hold another meeting with protesting farmers on Wednesday after Saturday's talks ended in another deadlock. The farmers, meanwhile, have called for a nationwide general strike tomorrow, a demand that has received support from a wide array of opposition political parties. The farmers say their demands are non-negotiable and are calling for a total repeal of the three contentious farm bills. In other news, India's top 12 ports have witnessed a considerable decline in cargo traffic for the 8th straight month in November, adversely impacted by the pandemic, according to port sector industry body IPA. Cargo traffic at 12 major ports that are under the control of the centre have dropped by 10.5% to 414.3 million tonnes during the April to November period. Moving on, Deloitte India, in a report, has said that India's banking industry needs to upgrade its technology infrastructure and appoint experienced chief risk officers to effectively deal with the incidence of cyber crimes. The report says that nearly 22% of cybersecurity attacks which took place in India in 2018-19 were on the banking sector. In international news, Australia has issued a warning on trade, saying uncertainties from its souring ties with China and the lingering impact of an earlier drought will push down the value of its agricultural exports. The value of shipments is set to decline by 7% in the current financial year to the lowest level in 5 years, according to a report from the government forecaster Abares. While that's a slight improvement from its September estimate of a 10% slump, the downturn comes in a year of solid domestic production growth. In international markets, equities in the Asia-Pacific region were mixed but mostly positive at the start of trade, with 2 of the 3 early risers trading in the green. And indices futures are pointing to small gains for US equity markets at the start of the week. In the commodity space, Brent crude has once again climbed above $49 to the barrel, with OPEC Plus negotiations having finally yielded results last week. And with that, it's over to Hormuz Fatakia for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Hormuz. How are we looking at the start of the week?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to those tuning in as well. 5 straight weekly gains and the markets are sitting at new record levels. Now here's a fun fact. Exactly half, now that is 25 out of the 50 constituents of the Nifty are trading with a relative strength index or RSI above the mark of 70. Now a reading above 70 in technical terms indicates that the stock is trading in overbought territory. Surprisingly, there is only one stock that is trading with an RSI below 50, and that is Reliance Industries. And now at these levels, a voice that has turned further bullish on India's equity markets is Chris Wood of Jefferies. In a recent Greed and Fear note, he said that he will raise India's weightage in the firm's Asia Pacific ex-Japan relative return portfolio by 1 percentage point after a number of positive indicators made him more bullish on the country's markets. The Jefferies Asia Pacific ex-Japan relative return portfolio is already overweight on India. Now let's get down to specific stocks, and first up is NMDC, where the government has reached an agreement with the Karnataka state government and the Ministry of Steel to extend the Donimalai iron ore lease. NMDC says that this will increase the annual iron ore production in the country by 7 million tons per annum. It also said that at the current prevalent rates, the Donimalai mine will contribute around 400 crore rupees to the state exchequer for the current financial year and 1100 crore rupees per annum. Now, PTI has reported that CBI has carried out search operations at 3 locations in Delhi in connection with an alleged fraud worth 1800 crore rupees at State Bank of India. The agency had earlier booked Jay Polychem in connection with causing a loss of 1800 crore rupees to a consortium led by India's largest lender. The stock has been trading at the highest level in 9 months. ONGC will be in focus today after the company's overseas arm ONGC Videsh made a significant strike of oil in its onshore block in Colombia. ONGC Videsh is the operator in the block with a 70% stake. This, according to the company, is the 4th commercial find made by them in that particular block. The stock has been rising over the last 4 trading sessions and it closed at a 6-month high on Friday. ICICI Bank held an analyst meet on Friday where it said that it expects credit costs to normalize by FY22. It also mentioned that it is looking at potential micro markets for expansion and that disbursements in secured loans has surpassed pre-COVID levels. Most brokerages have raised their price targets on the lender, citing it as one of the top picks in the private banking space. All 54 analysts who track the stock have a buy recommendation, according to Bloomberg data. Now, some other stocks that you should keep an eye out for. Apollo Tyres has allotted 6.3 crore shares on conversion of compulsorily convertible preference shares or CCPS to Emerald Sage Investments. Now, post this allotment, the share of Warburg Pincus and its affiliates in the company now stands at approximately 18%. Now, Tata Sons continues to acquire stake in Tata Chemicals. After acquiring over 18 lakh shares on the 2nd of December, the parent company has acquired another 25.7 lakh shares or 1.1% stake in Tata Chemicals on Friday. The stock gained another 8%, ending higher for the 12th straight day, which is the longest winning streak on record. Now, away from stocks onto an IPO update, and if I had to speak in their terminology, the Burger King Ipo was a whopper. The issue on the final day of bidding received overall subscriptions of 156.65 times. The QIB portion was subscribed over 86 times, the non-institutional portion was subscribed 354 times, while the retail portion saw subscription of over 68 times. The subscription figures has made Burger King the second most successful IPO of 2020 after Mazgaon Dock Shipbuilders and the third issue of the year, along with Happiest Minds Technologies, to have crossed subscription figures of over 150 times. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty showed that the index was flat around the mark of 13,330. Now do log in to BloombergQuint.com for all the latest updates on the markets, stocks, and a lot more. With that, I wish you a safe day ahead, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz, and as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great Monday and an amazing week ahead.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Pesa Vesa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.